Tonight on our news, an embattled member of parliament back in court, this time testifying in a libel case he filed. Plus, the New Day government getting set to satisfy a major lawsuit filed by former BPL execs on the grounds of wrongful dismissal. And the Valley Boys are back in the lineup of the country's top cultural expression, Junkanoo. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Kendino Knowles. Just before our top story tonight, the Davis administration looking to settle a wrongful dismissal lawsuit with former members of the Bahamas Power and Light Board. We will have more for you on this later in our newscast. But first, Free National Movement Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson back in court today. This time for another matter. The Long Island MP testifying as a witness in a libel case as he alleges a money transfer and comments about him on a local talk show were damaging. Berthany McDermott reports.
Long Island Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson taking the stand today recounting how he believes a $200 deposit to his joint bank account with his former girlfriend Alexandria Mackey was an attempt to possibly entrap him. Gregory Miller is charged with attempted intentional libel and intentional libel after prosecutors allege that he transferred the money to Gibson's Royal Bank of Canada account in an attempt to defame him back in 2018. He's also accused of making defamatory comments about Gibson on a Jones Communication Network television program in June 2019. In court today, Gibson testified that while reviewing his online bank account in January 2019, he discovered a $200 deposit from APEC Underground Utilities. This, he said, prompted him to call the then Water and Sewage Deputy Chairperson, who is a manager at RBC, and sent emails to the bank informing them and inquiring about the incident. The former WSC executive chairman then explained to Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt that he did this because he recognized the contractor's name who had previously submitted bids for a project in Long Island. In response, Gibson said he received emails, phone calls, and a letter of apology from the managing director of RBC. The prosecutor then asked Gibson how did these events make him feel as a public servant. To that, Gibson said he felt insulted, that it was to cause him harm and to cause him reputational and social damage. He added that what makes things worse was that Miller took to the airwaves with comments he found defamatory and to be libelous. When asked how he heard the comments, Gibson said the then WSC general manager brought it to his attention. This then prompted him to acquire a CD with the talk show. The chief magistrate then asked him what were the comments. To that, he said, time has made his memory foggy. Gibson also revealing that sometime after he spoke with then Deputy Commissioner of Police Paul Rule and made a complaint. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
And Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe addressing the rate of recidivism among inmates of the Department of Corrections, saying while it currently stands at 18%, the goal is to reduce it to 8% by the end of the year.
You have to be careful with statistics because recidivism is marked by people who have been convicted and then come out and are convicted again. So clearly you might know that there may be some people in our phenomenon who are charged if they're killed before trial. They won't fall into those statistics at all, because to be a part of the recidivism statistics, you have to have been convicted and then come out and be convicted again.
Here's how Monroe says government plans to do that.
That calls for the reinstruction of aggressive rehabilitative programs, which we are set to do. There was an hiatus for about 3-4 years. We are re-engaging with Corrections Canada on helping us to produce those sorts of reprogramming opportunities, and we hope to have fruit in that exercise towards the end of the year, into the coming year. It is important that people make useful time of their time incarcerated.
Officials from the Ministry of National Security and Ministry of Social Services announcing the launch of the new digital case management system, which will overhaul the way at-risk youth are currently diverted from crime. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development is Joel Lewis.
The goal of the assessment case management system is to train the officer to make evidence-based objective decisions rather than using subjective opinion. Officers will be empowered to respond early and more effectively in diverting vulnerable children and adolescents away from adult criminal justice system.
Dr. Deborah Kotzel is a professor at John Jay School of Criminal Justice and conducted training in the new management system. She says when used and has the necessary support, recidivism can be cut by up to 40%.
In my research, as far as I know, this is the first country in the Caribbean to adopt and implement a standardized tool that's designed to assess general risk and needs. The research is quite clear that if we want to reduce recidivism, we need to match the right people to the right types of services. When we do those things, we can reduce recidivism 35–40%.
President of Bahamas Electrical Workers Union Kyle Wilson responding to news that the Davis administration will likely step in and provide more financial assistance to Bahamas Power and Light. Wilson, who was responding to recent comments made by Works Minister Alfred Sayers, calling it welcome news.
On behalf of the Bahamian people and even the workers, because we are also consumers. So each helping hand the government can lend to the Bahamian people at this time would go a long way, because as you know, because of the war in Ukraine and other factors, the cost of energy because of the fuel price has gone up significantly. And so if they could do anything to prevent or mitigate against that, it's more than welcome, to be honest with you.
A top A category group making a huge announcement about their participation in several upcoming parades. That announcement given by the group's chairman, who spoke exclusively with our Sasha Lightbourne.
The Valley Boys are back. In fact, they say they never left. That according to Valley Boys chairman Brian Adderley, who told our news exclusively that the public can expect to see the Valley Boys back on Bay as early as the Independence Rush on Monday.
We never said that we weren't going to be on Bay. But whatever happened in the past 2 years, we've moved on from that. And we're making preparation to participate in the upcoming parade.
So with that, we asked several of the group's members how they feel about their return to Bay.
We are going to put on a show, and we are proud to be Bahamian. We are in full swing, and we are ready to go for the entire season.
Hearing that we're back was a ball of excitement, as well as anticipation for what's to come.
And Frontline Dancers chairman John Williams, who says he has been a Valley Boy all his life, couldn't agree more.
It excites the fans, more importantly. They've been missing us. They want to buy tickets, they want to come out, they want to celebrate, they want to rush, they want to see us.
Brass section member Aldika Colbrook only had a few words for naysayers.
We may have left for a minute, but we are here and we are not going anywhere. We have nowhere to go. So you come on Bay Street, because who are we? The Valley.
Now, as I said earlier, the Valley Boys will participate in the Independence Rush on Monday. That parade begins at 12 a.m. They will also be participating in Junkanoo Summer Festival, as well as the Gumbe Festival being put on by the Ministry of Tourism. Reporting from the Winston Gus Cooper Manor subdivision for our news, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
All right, thanks a lot, Sasha. And it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Thanks, Kendino, and welcome everybody for our first look on this TGIF Friday. Another warm day around the islands and a warm evening setting up outside our studios. 85 degrees with just a few clouds. Still a bit of a breeze, east-southeasterly at 13 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature very warm, 91 degrees, and that is warm. Satellite view, that tropical wave that was affecting us, it's now well to the west into the Gulf of Mexico, but we have an upper level low. You notice a little bit of a spin across the central and southeast Bahamas. That's that upper level low. That's helping to trigger some showers across us. We have some fast streaming showers coming out of the east to southeast across the island chain. So you'll have some hit and miss showers later on tonight through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. Well, still to come on our news. Government is set to satisfy lawsuits filed by former board members of Bahamas Power and Light. Female inmates will now have access to resources in their very own library. And just how Bahamian are you? We'll find out. It's all coming up when our news returns. After a 3-year court battle, a settlement could soon be reached between government and members of the former Bahamas Power and Light Board who were fired in 2018. Bethany McDermott is following the case.
The former Bahamas Power and Light chairwoman's attorney, Damian Gomez QC, expressing optimism that the legal matter will be resolved soon. Gomez says he's not only optimistic, he's also confident.
We are in advanced talks with the government, and we expect that our agreement in principle will be confirmed.
In August 2018, Osborne, Nick Dean, and Nicola Thompson were fired from the BPL board after former Minister of Public Works Desmond Bannister said board members were at odds on almost every critical issue. Bannister also made a number of claims against Osborne, including suggesting that she had sent personal bills for makeup and a home security system to BPL. But the trio fired back, claiming that political interference and a continuous disrespect towards the executive chairperson were at the root of the former board's dysfunction.
As regards the clients, they're each very relieved because this marks the end, so to speak, of what has been a huge ordeal for them and their families.
A public hearing for the trial was scheduled this week but was cancelled. In a statement, Bannister said, "We are fully prepared for trial and we're confident that we would have succeeded on evidence and on the law. However, I understand that the plaintiffs sought to settle the action and the government came to an agreement with them." Gomez is representing Osborne, Nick Dean, and Nicola Thompson.
Well, we are in litigation with them, so we engage at a relatively professional level. So to that extent, they've extended courtesies and we've extended courtesies that are normal. It has been a process that has taken many months, but that's not unusual.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
41 female inmates at the Department of Corrections now have access to a library and resource center at the Fox Hill facility, and officials and inmates are touting it as a game changer. Megan Shepard tells us why.
A dream come true is how wife of the Governor General and patron, Lady Clara Smith, is describing the opening of the first female inmate library and resource center named in her honor. Lady Clara, who was there for the official opening, says she hopes the library helps inmates gain the skills necessary to make a positive contribution to society.
This library is intended to give individuals the opportunity to read for information, for inspiration, for knowledge, to gain new skills or develop new hobbies.
Now, the Minister of National Security, Wayne Monroe, says that having access to education is a key basic right. However, this is the first time that a library and resources center has been opened at the female correctional facility. He says he hopes the inmates here take advantage of all the opportunities it will present.
It will provide a level of normalcy in a highly regulated environment, as a place where individuals are free to make their own choices and engage in self-directed pursuits.
Inmates Ernesta Butler and Shanika Gibbs say they are grateful to finally have a library on property.
I can go on the internet and research, and then it gives me opportunity to find out if I want to write the ministry for clemency.
So now that we have a library, we can come in, read, and it's an e-library. It's even better when you want to do letters, whatever the case may be, research.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, well, when Our News comes back from the break, meteorologist Greg Thompson is back in the Weather Center with more on weather for the Independence holiday weekend. Plus, in sports, Babe Ruth baseball tournament taking center stage. And just how Bahamian are you? We have the details when Our News returns. This is Our News. Welcome back. And now in sports, our Marcellus Hall has the latest from the Babe Ruth baseball tournament.
The UB Mingos women's softball team expected to play the Bracats in New Province Softball Association action on Saturday at the Bankers Field. Mingos lost the season opener to the Johnson Lady Truckers 17-12 last week Friday, but UB head coach Shane Aubrey said the team is looking to bounce back with some missing pieces falling into place.
We put in the reps. It's about consistency, about reps, pitching, defense, hitting, doing our usual routines, and hopefully the players that are working or off the island, etc., they're back as a reinforcement to give us some assistance on the field as well as body.
And of course, action will continue throughout the weekend in the Babe Ruth Caribbean Championships over at the Blue Hills playing field. We've been covering those games for you here on our TV. That action will continue right through until the championship. Games at 11 and 3. Make sure you don't miss any of the action as it happens.
All right, thanks a lot. Our Marcellus Hall reporting for us tonight. Well, just after the break, Greg is back with your extended weather forecast. And we are going to find out just how Bahamian some of our citizens really are. It's all coming up when our news returns. This is our news. Welcome back. It's time now for your extended weather forecast. And meteorologist Greg Thompson is back in the Weather Center with a look at conditions for tonight and into the weekend. Greg?
Thanks again, Candino. Welcome back, everybody, for our final look at weather on this final day of the work week. Warm, hot, whatever you want to call it, temperatures today around the islands. And that's courtesy of a ridge of high pressure that's continuing to dominate our weather at the surface. It's going to remain in firm control of our weather pattern through the weekend. But we do have an upper level low that's spinning across the area. That's going to help to trigger a few isolated showers and thunderstorms across the area. And that upper level low is going to cycle towards the south and weaken. Across the Atlantic, quiet weather. The Saharan dust is moving across that area. The tropics remaining quiet. A couple of very weak tropical waves moving across the tropical belt, but not showing any signs of development. There is a front to the north. We expect that front to get down here sometime by Sunday into Monday, just to the north of the Bahamas. Not really going to make it through, but it will help to trigger a few showers across the northwest Bahamas. But all in all, should be quiet and hot weather throughout the remainder of the weekend into the weekend. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the southeast, falling off 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your low tide will be at 10:07 tonight for the central and southeast Bahamas. That caution flag remains in place for you guys. East to southeasterly winds at 15 to 20 knots, seas running 4 to 6 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your 7-day forecast, isolated showers occurring most days throughout the remainder of the weekend and into early next week. That frontal boundary, as I mentioned, stalling just to the north of the Bahamas, triggering some showers possibly by Tuesday, but we expect that front to weaken and should keep us rather quiet with very warm temperatures throughout the remainder of next week. That's a look at our weather. Have a super weekend, everybody.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. And with Independence Day just days away, patriotism is on display as Bahamians are expressing their pride for their culture. Our news team also expressing our pride, wearing our colors in these shirts provided for us by Bahari. Our news team took to the streets today and put some residents to the test. Natalia Hall has the results.
Over the past 49 years, the country has faced many struggles as well as accomplishments. It has been a long road and much has happened. Now we put these two residents to the test to see if they know their Bahamian history.
National bird is flamingo.
The national fish.
Blue marlin.
Who wrote the national anthem?
Name escapes me, St. John's Native Baptist Church.
I think we got you on that one.
No,
Tell me, who wrote the national anthem?
Timothy Gibson.
Okay. National fish?
National fish. The blue marlin, eh?
You sure?
The blue marlin or the grouper?
This group sharing why they are proud Bahamians.
I'm free and I'm blessed to live in this country where I can praise God.
I've traveled a few places, and there's no place like the Bahamas. We might not have all that we want to, but I know that we're better than some other countries.
In order to be able to live on through our children and to be able to reference what we've come through, to have a story to tell. And when other people don't appreciate it as Bahamians, I mean, who authentically are you?
Now, overall, residents say they are pleased with the country's accomplishments in the past 49 years, but going forward, they would like to see more unity among Bahamians.
Politics ostracize and polarize us from our true potential, keeps us divided.
Being our brother's keeper, we don't see a lot of that because everyone is just looking to get for themselves. But we're supposed to love our neighbor as we love ourselves.
Reporting for our news, I'm Natalia Hall.
All right, thanks a lot, Natalia. And special thanks to Bahari for outfitting the entire R News team in honor of National Flag Day and our upcoming independence. We'll have a closer look at how the apparel company is, in fact, doing everything it can in its power, really, to drive Bahamian pride. We'll have more on that in R News this weekend. With that, we thank you for joining us for R News Tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Candino Knowles. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, have a wonderful evening.